Well, the ongoing mental health crisis has transformed how we navigate the city, especially the subway system.
However, a new safety plan is underway underground, but it is being met with some concerns.
And that's just a peek from this evening's community close-up with Jay Dow. He's going to join us this morning. He's looking at the new policy. Jay, good morning to you.
Good morning.
Now, this program was just rolled out. I mean, explain the pros and the cons of this.
Well, I mean, this is an expansion of what's been in place, but now the city is conducting about 130 involuntary removals per week. And that's, going up to people and making the determination that they can't take care of themselves. And because of that, they should be removed, often against their will, and either taken to Bellevue, or if they're belligerent, the police are there with social workers to take them into custody. And we wanted to, we're out here reporting these stories every day, but we wanted a boots on the ground look to see what this policy looks like, because the city is really taking a broader interpretation of what has been an existing law. And so, not only did we want to go down into the subways to take a look at what it looks like when a social worker and a police officer approach someone and say, you have to come with us, regardless of whether you want to or not. And then, we decided to have a discussion that was going beyond, our simple news reports that air every day in the newscast. So we brought in the deputy mayor for Health and Hospitals, and Norman Siegel, who is, been around for a long time, a former executive director of the New York Civil Liberties Union, to talk this out, so that people can get a better understanding of what the city is doing and why. And so if you're on the platform and you're on the subways, you know what's going on. We all know what's happening. Yeah. Where people are being pushed into the path of oncoming trains. In the worst cases, this woman was set on fire, and people are worried about their safety. But then there are also advocates who say that the city is going too far.
Right.
And so this is a really interesting debate, and we wanted to have a really timely discussion about it.
Right.
We've had this problem for quite some time. We all have heard the stories about how all of the mental health institutions in the city just kind of turned people out, decades ago, and we're still suffering through that problem. What are we doing with these people when we take them off the streets?
Well, it's a revolving door.
Yeah.
A lot of the times we see people who are taken into custody. We see people who are hospitalized at Bellevue on a 72-hour psychiatric hold, and then they're released. Or, they're granted bail, and, then unfortunately they end up committing another crime. This revolving door, this system that we have, it's not just about what's happening locally. There's a lot of state involvement here as well. And the lack of funding that you just talked about from the state level and also on the federal level has contributed to what we're dealing with right now.
We know there's the mental health portion. Optically, obviously, they want to make people feel safer, so there's more police agents now underground. I've heard from people that commute during varied hours. Well, I don't see the extra police, right? So what are people saying? Well,
I mean, just yesterday I filed a report, and it was based on this new deployment of 200 officers that are going to be on the trains and on the platforms, but the NYPD cannot be everywhere all at once. I mean, I don't know that the NYPD would ever be able to staff up to the levels where you would be able to see an officer on every train and every platform in the city. I mean, there are 472 stations. You know how big our subway system is. So, I mean, to be able to say, I want to see an officer every time I go down underground, I don't know how realistic that is.
You would need an entire police force underground, besides the NYPD. All right, Jay, thank you so much for bringing that story to us. And a reminder, be sure to tune in today at 5:30 to watch Community Close-Up with Jay Dow. And, of course, he's going to be back with us next hour.
We'll be watching. Thank you, Jay.
Good to be here with you.